Okay, hi all. On the fighting arts. Um, where to even start? Well, let's see. I've trained since 1980. Um, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, boxing, mostly Kempo. Trained Wing Chun since 1986. Um, let's see. Some Aikido, some Hapkido, some Taekwondo, some Kali Eskrima, some Penjak Salat, some Hungwa Gung Fu, which, big fan. You know, a lot of Eastern stuff, but around 1990, I found my way into the group called the SCA. And I couldn't for the life of me understand why I got beat on a regular basis until I started to learn the Western martial arts. Now you'll see, I guess you can see this. There's a katana, another katana. Oh no, it's a bokken. Another katana. The stick, which is, as most of you know, one of my favorite things in the world. Just a personal favorite. I said the other day in a thing that my stick work is Western, and that might surprise some people. I think most people would think that it's Eskrima or Penjak Salat or one of those, but it's really not. My stick work is Western. The vast majority of my martial arts at this point in my life are Western. You know, I take nothing away from the Eastern arts because they taught me a lot and kept me alive for a very long time. I've been in a frightening number of street fights. 2 wires in my jaw, nose broken more times than I can count. You can kind of see that in the fact that my face is a little lopsided. Collapsed left cheekbone, 2 wires in another part of my body that I'm not going to say because, you know, it's a weakness. I don't like to broadcast my weaknesses. But, you know, as I said, I found myself in the SCA, and I found myself fencing at first, then heavy weapons and fencing. I could beat people in hand-to-hand because their hand-to-hand wasn't that great. But the guys who really knew their shit, the guys who studied Savate and Western boxing and pankration and, you know, other arts, they could take me out fairly easily, which was not a good thing, as a lot of times I had 10 years or more training than they did. A rondel. This is a cold steel training piece. But you notice when you get hit with one. One of my more Western pieces. Over the years, I would step away from the katana and find my true love, the saber. Everyone has their thing, and this is mine. You can tell I still have a little bit of Eastern in me. And I probably always will. My first, you know, I continued to train Eastern arts for well, up until the current day, really. I meshed the two and have for a very long time now. Okay. You know, and what this all sort of boils down to is, you know, there's a misconception, I think, a brutal misconception in the arts, especially the Eastern arts, that, you know, back in the day, in the 15, 16, 1700s, it was the gun that made the white man, the European, call him what you will, you know, the most feared thing that walked on 2 feet, and, you know, let him overtake the Chinese and the Japanese, and, you know, a nation that, you know, created Kung Fu, the nation that, you know, created karate, you know, and the reality is that if the men of those times hadn't had brutal fighting arts and brutal sword work arts, the gun was nearly useless. It was inaccurate. It took a minute per to load. Even into the 1700s, if you could get off 3 rounds a minute, you were considered an expert. So really it came down to, you know, the fighting arts of the time, you know, and how the Western arts differed from the Eastern arts. And without trying to piss off too many people, I'm going to say from my own personal perspective that I think the Western arts are superior, and far superior. Like I said, I still train the Eastern stuff. There are reasons for it, partly for my health, partly because I've just done it for so goddamn long, I don't know how to stop. You know, but these days when it comes to street fighting slash, you know, or if you prefer the term, which I do, real fighting, I'm almost completely Western. I do mix in a little Muay Thai. I think they have better elbow work. But aside from that, I'm almost completely Western in my fighting arts these days. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to be starting to teach. I'm starting with boxing, and I'm going to start with some ring techniques. The jab, the arm punches. Gotta go this way. When I say an arm punch, what I mean by that is that it uses just the arm, whereas a leg punch uses the legs. And we'll be getting into those. I'm going to say next week, but it could just be sometime, you know, within the next month. My schedule is not, I may be disabled, but my schedule doesn't mean that my time is all my own. My favorite Eastern weapon, by the by, a lot of you are big fans, but, you know, I'm a stick fighter, so of course I love the cross-sectional staff with a passion. It's an elegant weapon, and it can be remarkably useful. Needless to say, I've never used one in a street fight. It's illegal to carry in all 50 states and most countries.